Hello, I'm Christy Lloyd, a Salesforce business analyst out of Seattle, Washington. I'd love to show you some of the flows my team and I built for a business problem for a telecoms company who was having issues with case assignments, queues, and SLAs. My team also consisted of Kanchan and Sindhu. Here you can see a business process map that I built with Lucidchart for the current state of the company after speaking with some stakeholders. And we can see we start here with an unhappy customer who has some kind of inquiry. The case is transferred to the support team and a 24-hour clock begins. We have some issues going on with the current state. The customer is waiting too long. It's hard to assign these cases to the correct agents. The cases are, we see the cases are logged to a database, and sometimes there's just no way to track the case. If the case is resolved, we have a happy customer. We see no CSATs or customer service scores being recorded. And if it's not resolved, it's escalated to a support lead. It's a simple process, but one that's not working for the team. Here we can see this is the proposed future state map for the solution for the issue. Here we can start with, again, the unhappy customer who has some kind of inquiry and contacts the company through email, hotline, or through chatbot. And their first stop along the way is self-service knowledge articles, which we propose will have a 40% call deflection. A lot of people can get their questions answered from these articles. If it is resolved, then before we send them on their way, we want to collect feedback so that we can use those CSATs to have data-driven decisions to improve the process. If the customer's issue is not resolved, then the clock starts at a 24-hour case is created. We send them through a decision tree. If the department that they seek is support, we send them to those agents that are specifically trained for those cases. And if it's billing, we send them to a billing agent who's prepared through queues and through omnichannel. If their issue is resolved, again, we want to collect that feedback so we can continue to improve all the time. If it's not resolved, we have an option for early escalation, or it can be escalated to a dedicated team. After 24 hours, it's automatically escalated to a support manager. And then again, we want to gain all of the feedback that we can through the end of the process. Now I want to speak a little bit about flows, flows in Salesforce in general. And during this project, we as a team had to decide what best solution we could choose for common business problems. We could choose either the simple built-in native features to Salesforce, or we could choose a flow, which best described here by this picture of a multifunction tool. The simple tool, the scissors, is often the correct choice. This can include features such as web to case or queues with public groups, omni-channel, escalation rules, and so on, features that are native to Salesforce built in. Some of the pros are that they're simple, they're not as likely to break or fail. The cons are it may not be complex enough of a solution to fit the requirement, and these simpler built-in tools they do have limitations. Now, flows are often very useful for specific use cases, especially for complex use cases. But we prefer to keep things very simple. KISS, Keep It Simple Salesforce, is a good way to think of who's coming after you in your position, in your role. Is it going to be somebody that will understand flows and can maintain that process? Also, flows can be time consuming and can cost money, especially if you're paying a consultant by the hour, and flows can break. We found that during this project that flows aren't perfect, and they do break from time to time, so they do have their drawbacks. In general, it's best practice to keep your solutions simple. Keep it simple, Salesforce, and opt for standard functionality, avoid over-engineering, and consider who is coming into a role, such as a developer or an admin role, after the initial person. Will they be able to understand what you did, and can they maintain that solution? All right, let me tell you about a time when we did decide to use Flow for this project. This is Superfan. Their birthday is today, and as a company, we want to send all of our customers with birthdays an email telling them happy birthday and best wishes from the company. And specifically, we want them to be cupcake themed emails. So what did we decide to do? So in this task of building a birthday email, we wanted to use a flow that required some pre-work. The pre-work to this flow included building a custom field, an email alert, and an email template. I created this particular deliverable, and let me show you how I did it. The first step was to create a custom field. This custom field included this formula here at the bottom that would check to see if today was in fact the customer's birthday. The field label was birthday is today, and then you'll get to see what we did next, or what I did next. This is the email template that I created with the contact's first name, and that was able to be grabbed from the record. And this template was made available to be used in the flow. Next, I created an action, an email alert called Send Happy Birthday Email, and used the record ID of the customer to connect it in the flow. For this birthday email, a schedule triggered flow will do the job nicely. It runs every single day, and it uses the contact as the object, and the conditions are when the field birthday is today equals true, and the field email is null is false, meaning that there's an email in there. The next step was to get records with the conditions that the object is email template, and the conditions developer name, that was important to put in the exact developer name, happy birthday email. We ran the flow. We can see here the email is sent correctly, and it's recorded under the activity tab for the contact, happy birthday superfan. The next flow that I built was a record triggered flow to alert the support team when a case has gone unresolved for too long. There are 3 branches to this flow. The first is run immediately and nothing happens at the end of that. The second branch is if no action is taken under 1 hour, then an email is sent to the escalation team or person. And then the third branch is if there's no action after 2 hours, then an email alert is sent to the dedicated person. Here's what the flow looks like behind the scenes. And here are the 3 scheduled paths. And you can see this particular 1 hour scheduled path is laid out here. The next task was to capture case information. We chose to use a very simple screen flow with an update records component. This makes it very simple for an agent who can choose from a drop-down box menu or a lookup box. And this way data integrity is maintained and we capture the source of the case. The next task that we faced was to generate cases with info on customers who had past due accounts. The flow would look at the account object, and when the field past due equals true, then the account was flagged as past due. We then also compiled the accounts in a way that the agent could see them all together and take action. Here we can see the past due accounts, and then we added them to a record collection. Okay, here are some final tips and takeaways from this flows project. We wanted to leverage flows for efficient automation. Flows are powerful tools for automating processes in Salesforce without the need for coding, which we like a lot. They provide a flexible solution for tasks where native, out-of-the-box, simpler automation is not available or not appropriate for the use case. However, it's really important to remember that flows are not the only solution available, and their usage should be considered alongside or instead of other options. We also wanted to make sure that regular maintenance for flow stability was kept, because as I mentioned before, flows can break. Just like any other component in Salesforce, regular maintenance ensures their stability and effectiveness, so it's not something you can just do once and forget about. You need to make sure it's maintained. Salesforce is great about continually evolving with updates and new features which can impact the performance of existing flows. And regularly reviewing and updating your flows is essential to keep them aligned with the changing business needs of your company and Salesforce updates. We also, as a group, decided that we prefer native solutions when available. When possible, we prefer utilizing the out-of-the-box solutions provided by Salesforce. Native solutions are effortless to implement and maintain. They are, in my opinion, more reliable and compatible with future updates. And before opting for custom development or maybe complex flows, it's advisable to explore the native functionalities available within Salesforce to achieve what you need for your business process. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos on my channel and connect with me on LinkedIn.